joined the community in the 1970s when the sort of ecumenical climate was very exciting and open, and there was a lot of activity between Franciscans, and although I didn't directly come into contact with other Franciscans, it wasn't until much later on when I became Minister Provincial of my community, and when there were beginning to be, this is now into the 90s, there's beginning to be some reservations. There were some situations where other Franciscans were very open and welcoming to us, and there were some situations where other Franciscans were not at all very welcoming. So we had this mixture of acceptance as Franciscans, but of course we could never be regarded as having been founded by Francis. We were inspired by Francis, and that was a little bit of the dissension, a little bit of the antagonism which appeared to be sort of just below the surface sometimes in our activities. My most awful experience with my brother Franciscans, well, and sister Franciscans, but mostly brother Franciscans, was in a meeting with the Franciscan Association of Great Britain, my first ever meeting there, and I hadn't really been briefed. It was an intimate mass that we were celebrating, and suddenly in the middle of this I realised I was not going to be able to communicate. And that was a most painful experience, because I'd been in other situations with my Roman Catholic brothers and sisters where there was no question, particularly in the leaders of the Roman Catholic congregations in England. So to be in this situation with my Franciscan brothers was really, really painful. But then I went from there shortly afterwards to a meeting, an open Eucharist during the meeting of abbesses of the Poor Clares. So I thought, oh gosh, I'm not going to be able to receive here, until I realised at the Peace, when I spoke with one of our Poor Clare sisters who was there was no question. We were accepted. So there's always been this extreme of acceptance and exclusion that has gone up and down. And I feel that in recent years the ecumenical climate has been rather stepping backwards, and which was very painful and disappointing. But now with Pope Francis, I think there's a breath of fresh air, and so I'm quite excited to be here with my brothers and sisters, not just of the Roman Catholic Church, but of other churches. And it just seems there is fresh hope, fresh opportunities, and much more openness.